good afternoon or good morning or possibly good evening, early hours, where depending on where you are. Um, this is our second November new members or members question and answer session on Zoom. My name's Hilary. I've been on WikiTree since 2011. I am one of the greeters, and I am also a mentor. And I'm also project coordinator for both the England and Wales projects. And I've I am got a lot of profiles to work on WikiTree. So I'm going to now hand it over to Stephen so he can introduce himself and let you know who he is.
Hi, I'm Steve Greenwood. I've been a member on here for about 5 years now, since 2020, and again, my big focus that I'm currently embroiled in, I guess, are those Germans in Wisconsin. That seems to be a big thing that I'm kind of wrapping my head around. Being I live in Milwaukee, certainly it allows me to go to places, go to cemeteries and historic sites. I'm still kind of discovering a lot about the city, and even just yesterday, I found this new diner that I didn't even know existed. I like driven past it 100 times, and it's just like there's new things to study. There's new history to learn. So wherever you are, just kind of look around the corner. There's always something interesting, and again, I'm part of this because I want to help people learn the site. I know there's a big learning curve with WikiTree, but we are here to help navigate it. And answer any questions anybody has, research wise or tech wise. So certainly bring those up in the chat and we'll try to address those. So Murray, you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Murray Maloney. I'm retired, and I used to be a technical writer many years ago, and so I help out around WikiTree doing some of that. And my ancestors were in Quebec and in New England and in Ireland and in Macedonia. And so I've done a lot of my tree, and basically there's not much more work I can do on my ancestors because I've hit all my roadblocks, my brick walls. And anyway, so I like Stephen, I've been here helping out with the WikiTree Q&A sessions for, was it 3 years now, Stephen?
Yeah, I think we've been doing these
And
for three.
yeah, so yeah, I mean, WikiTree is hard to learn to use. It's quite a challenge, and so that's why we're here. We just want to help you figure it out because the more the merrier, and we're going to build this big tree, and it's really helping everyone. The more people we add, the better the tree is. Denise, over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm the newest member of this illustrious group. My name is Denise Jarrett. I am a retired IT professional. I've run across the board in IT, from business analyst to tester to release manager to development manager. You'd name it, I've pretty much done it, except write code. I did that back in high school and I gave that up. But when I started with WikiTree back in 2020, it was right at the beginning of COVID. So I had the opportunity, instead of spending time driving back and forth to work, I used that time to get on the computer. I found out about WikiTree through Roots Tech. I thought that was pretty exciting, so I checked it out. And I did what I normally do. I attempted to break it. I started clicking on links all over the place just to see what they would do. And I was pretty fascinated with the whole idea of how it functioned. I really enjoyed the fact that it was FREE, being newly retired, getting something that was free and was still enabling me to connect me to other people and to connect other family members to myself. That's one of the tools I was most impressed with, was the connection function. And since then, there have been a lot of improvements in WikiTree to make it a little bit easier to use. But yes, there is still a learning curve. But again, don't be afraid of it. just hop right on in there. Come here to answer any questions, or go to Discord to ask any questions, and we'll do what we can to help you here.
Thanks, Denise.
Right. I think Anne's got some questions in the chat there. So see what we can do to help with those questions. The first one is, do I have to put an email for each profile I want someone on the trusted list to access? I think you have to put when I've only ever added somebody to a trusted list by adding their email, or if they've sent me a request to join it, and then it's automatically added the email for me to that thing. It's the way that they identify whose profile it is using your email address. So
and you can always also do it in bulk. There's a bulk update that you can make where you can add one person to multiple profiles if you want.
Yeah, I've done that before now when I've added somebody to added them on to the whole line that they share with say so that they can add anything they want onto that line. But it has to be somebody that sort of shares that ancestry really for me to want to do that. So, but I have done it, and you can do that yourself if you manage all those. Her next bit was, does a person have to have a profile to be on my trusted list? Well, yeah, I would have thought so, because you've got to have an email there to do it, and then they've got it. Because if you put the wrong email in, it won't add anybody on there. So basically, it's got to be something that WikiTree will recognise the email address as belonging to a particular profile. Can I make memories public but limit other information? I don't know whether you can make the memories public. I thought that was a bit that wasn't public, but has anybody else used memories? I haven't really used it much.
Yeah, my understanding is that is not visible on public profiles.
Yeah. And then I think the last one was, can I search for free space pages? How? For example, I want to find a space page for something, and I know it's at whatever. If it's something that you're a manager or trusted list on, it's on your watch list, you can actually search for them quite easily, can't you?
Yes.
I think we actually showed that last month.
Yes.
We do the quick search, and we should be able to find it with the right keywords. Yeah,
it's usually because I know it shows up on the top of your on the page there, search your watch list for things. If it's something you're on the watch list first, well, you certainly should be able to find it. But
I feel like it's a good thing to review again. I mean, because it is a very important feature that is hidden. Is that something that maybe we could do really quick just to review?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Should I take the lead on this?
Yeah, go ahead, Stephen.
Okay, cool. So just to start, I think we want to go ahead and click on that magnifying glass in the upper right-hand corner. Actually, that's not exactly what I want to do, but I'm going to go to advanced person search, because this is going to open up another page. And this, allows you initially to search for a person, right? You can put the information in, find a person. If you continue to scroll to the bottom, we now have the ability to search for any text. And this can pull up free space profiles. And if I want to specify free space profiles, I would check this little button here, and I would start entering information. So does anybody have a prompt that they want me to put in?
Well, she was looking for something to do with the Akkadian census.
Akkadian census?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to just search for Akkadian census. Let's see what we can find here. This opens up another tab. And it lists a whole bunch of stuff, including list and links, the 1671, the 1714 transcript, 16. Again, there's a bunch of them here by number. So if I just click on one, it doesn't matter which one I click on here, but we'll look at it. And this is pulling up the 1671 Akkadian census that Nicole Nunes has created. And it looks like they, link to all these profiles in here. This is actually really cool. And if I go to the bottom of the page, let me just see if it's categorized. It looks like it is categorized within Acadian's project. So Acadian's project itself is maintaining these, and it looks like all the census pages that we found via that search are showing up as they're pages within the subcategory of Acadian's project. So it looks like there's multiple ways to get around to them. Also, it looks like there's another subcategory titled Acadian's Project Free Space Pages with 107 pages in it. So this is quite a resource. But yeah, it looks like I was able to find the mother lode here within the categories once I did the search. And so there's two ways to reach it, either through the project itself or again just going back to this tab where we can do a search for anything, and so if it shows up in the text, if it shows up as the title, it should populate something. So again, that's going to be if you click again at the very top, that right hand magnifying glass, that's going to drop that down, and then click Advanced Person Search, which will actually open up the search page, and then give you options to search for surnames, ancestor matches, and then in this case any text. And we just wanted to specify it to free space pages.
I wanted you to show the watch list field under the search.
Yeah, I'll go back.
To look for free space pages that are on your watch list.
I'm actually not as privy to this, but I would like to learn about that. Now, where do I need to go?
So under search your watch list, see the field in the
search your watch list. Okay, let me just move your head over again.
Oh, right, we're on the way.
Now it's ready to search.
So you just type in the name of any word that you think might be in one of your pages.
Yes, I will. So if I search for that, it pulls up a whole bunch of people that are related to me, and also pulls up the space page in which I created under that name as well. So yeah, that's quite powerful. And I'm looking for my German ancestors. That's actually really powerful, because then I can search anybody that I have. I am the profile manager of these pages or these people. So yeah, that's incredibly helpful to know.
Yeah. So you can enter the word name or name study, and that will pull up all the ones that are in your watch list, all your name studies or all your place studies that are in your watch list.
Yeah. So I wasn't really utilizing it that much, but now I can see it is incredibly helpful. So thanks for pointing that out.
What happens if you type in the word space?
Ooh.
Hey, all of your space pages. Yes.
Pretty cool.
Anything that I've taken over, anything that I've worked on. Yeah, I got my fingers in a lot of list. I got my fingers in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, highly important. Very helpful. If you're not already documenting it on your profile, you can just pull them right up.
No idea how many free space pages there are on WikiTree. There's a lot.
There's no master list hiding somewhere?
I don't know.
I know that other wikis do keep track of like certain namespaces, and so they, can tell you how many articles there are, how many things that are, help pages, whatever, and break them down. I don't know if our information is just hidden because of the version of MediaWiki that we're using.
Now, Lorraine asked, if it's possible to look for mtDNA haplogroups, and so I put in a link. It's to the category mtDNA haplogroups, and so you can just go there and look, see if you can find yours or the one that you're wanting to find out more about, and if it's not there, then maybe it needs to be created.
But if you want to find out, I mean, I put mine in, but how would I find other people on WikiTree that also have the same haplogroup?
Well, you go to, if you've put yourself in the category of that haplogroup, then when you click on the haplogroup, when you click on that category, you will see all the other people who have marked themselves as belonging to that haplogroup.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
In response to Amanda's comment about being able to see memories, that has a green open privacy. So Yes, you can see the memories on that one because it's open. If it was locked as a private profile, you would not be able to see the memories.
Does everybody understand what the different privacy levels are? Is there anybody that's new and perhaps doesn't understand the different privacy levels? Because somebody was querying about green locked, what green locked was, and then there's obviously the other privacy categories as well, and they all show different amounts of things on a profile.
Okay. I can share that if you want.
Yeah.
Let's see. Come on, sweetie. This is the profile that Amanda was referring to. And you can see the green lock. And what we can do is click on the lock for the privacy controls here. So when it's green, it is public, which means anyone can view the whole profile. But here's the various categories. We have 7 different categories of privacy. Obviously, unlisted. For those of us that can go back in the day when there were telephone books and you were unlisted, the company may have had your name and address, but it was not visible to anyone else looking at that phone book. And the same thing is true with WikiTree. If you're unlisted, the profile is there, but unless you are the profile manager, no one can see that information. It just says unlisted. Okay. The name won't appear, the birth dates won't appear, and it doesn't show up in searches. So if you're searching for a particular name and you've got people out there in that surname that are unlisted, they won't show up either. And then, of course, we have the big red, which is private. That's the obvious one that's private. And the public information is very, very limited. Again, when it's private, you will see, for example, 1950s as the birth year. It'll be that decade, but you don't know where within that decade that person was born. Same thing with the death dates. Again, very strict, and only trusted list people can see that. So for anyone else to see or edit that profile, they would have to be on the trusted list, and they can only be placed on the trusted list by the profile manager. And here's private with public biography. Now that's one that I have on my personal profile because I've got information in my biography that I want the public to be able to see. Like what surnames am I working on? What, those types of things. So my profile is private. No one else can make any changes to it but me. However, I've got public information that I want to share in my biography. And then private with public family tree. These two are different. My profile is private, but then my family tree is not visible to everyone. So in this case, when it's a lighter orange or a yellowish orange private, you can see the family tree as well as being able to just view it. And that's about it. You can't make any changes to it, but you can view it. You can see my pedigree chart. That's what that family tree is. And then next, it's public biography and family tree. So then you can see both. You can click on that descendant tree and be able to see the entire family, as well as being able to see the biography of that person. And then we're back to the green lock, which means it is public. So that is available for public viewing. And of course, the white lock, it's open and anybody can make changes to it. Okay.
And we should add anyone who has signed the honor code can edit it, not an outsider from WikiTree. They still have to go through the process of becoming a wiki genealogist.
Correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's an important distinction to make with that open profile.
Yeah.
It's not like, Wikipedia where someone can be anonymous and make an edit to it.
Yeah.
Um,
And also in the fine print here, anyone that was born over 150 years ago would be open, or who died over 100 years ago would be open. So WikiTree goes through and they do their checks and balances, and they make updates on those profiles every time there's a data dump. So
yeah, and you will get suggestions if you've got profiles that you manage that are full and they should be open, and you haven't got them open. You'll get a suggestion come up on that on your suggestions. And I don't know if people realise, but when guests join WikiTree, they automatically get added onto the private with public biography and family tree. They can change the privacy whilst they're still a guest if they wish to. Some people do, but most people stay on that until at least they've become a family member. And if you add DNA on, you have to have a certain privacy on yours in order to be able to see the DNA on it. You can't have yours as locked down as you might want to have it if you want your DNA to be visible.
awesome.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And I was going to add also, if we do display our family trees, if there are still living parents attached to those family trees, those people will still be hidden from public view. So, like, we can at least shoot through them to see where the ancestors are displayed. I just wanted to also indicate that as well.
If they're private, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't have to have people open unless they've reached certain requirements. I mean, there are profiles that are open that are the people died less than 100 years ago, but that's up to the profile manager as to why they've opened that, or
they're notable.
Profile manager has orphaned it, then it's got to be open, because you can't orphan any profiles unless they're actually open.
Anne Forcier asked about categories, and I just happened to be working with categories this weekend, and so I thought there's something that I could show a little bit about categories. John was my fourth great-grandfather, and he came from Scotland just before the Revolution, and landed in Maine, and started preaching in a little town called Warren, Maine. And then he did a bunch of stuff, and but see here, we can see there that he has been attached to quite a number of categories. So let me show you how that's done. I'm just going to go in here, and you can see right above the biography, we've listed a whole bunch of categories. So he's from Scotland, and he needs a birth record, and he needs other records from Scotland too. And he's from Cromarty Parish, and he's more specifically from Dingwall, and he's Presbyterian minister, and he spent time in St. George, Maine, and Warren, Maine, and he was a loyalist in the American Revolution. In fact, he was a member of the 1st Battalion of the Maryland Loyalists, and he spent time in Tavis and Tack in New Brunswick Colony, and he's buried at the Moorfield Cemetery. Okay, so these are all categories that I've added to him. Now I'm going to focus here on the fact that he's a member of the 1st Battalion of Maryland Loyalists. So let's get out of here. Return to profile without saving. And if we go to 1st Battalion of Maryland Loyalists, whoops, there we go. So you can see it in the little preview, you can see a little bit that we can see about that category. But now if we go to the category, we can see that there are various people, and this isn't the whole battalion, but I'm starting to slowly gather people into this category list. And so this is a way that you can find people who have something in common. And sometimes when you're looking at lists like this, you'll see relations. For example, Daniel Delaney and Walter Delaney are both on this list. Okay, so and then you have people like James Chalmers who has more of a historical record, because he was a what the Americans would call a propagandist, in just before the Revolution. And anyway, you got quite a number of people in here. Now, it turns out that some of the people on this list, when they were leaving New York, so this is at the after the war, and they were stationed in New York, and it was time for them to leave because they'd lost. And now they boarded a ship, and the ship was the Martha. And so I've been able to determine this small list of people who were aboard the Martha. Okay, but I've found sources so that we can identify more of them. Now, unfortunately, there was never a list created of the people who were aboard the Martha. And so some deduction is required in some cases. In some cases, the person who created a profile for someone actually happened to know that that person was on board the Martha and was part of the shipwreck. But notice here that we've put the Loyalist ship Martha under the category Loyalist ships. So there's others besides the Martha. And we've also put it in the category shipwrecks. Okay? So that's a bit of an explanation on how we use categories. And I created this category just maybe 2 days ago. And what I started with is just this text. This category contains profiles of persons affiliated with the ship. Then I added a paragraph to describe the Martha and what it's all about. And then I added some links so that people could find out more information about it. And I placed this category inside of two other categories. So what this is saying is, when you go look at the Loyalist Ships category, you're going to find that this page, the Loyalist Ships Martha, is part of that category. And when you go look under shipwrecks, you're also going to find Loyalist Ships Martha. Now, that meant that I had to create a category. And so what happens when you create a category, and let me just go to one of the pages that's in here. So we'll look at James Henley, let's say. And so in James Henley's case, I added this category here. And when I did that, and I saved this page, it was red. It showed up as red on when I looked at the profile. And what the red tells me is, well, this category hasn't actually been officially created yet. And so what you do is you then click on it, the red one, you click on it, and you go into it, and you put it in a category. And as soon as you put it in a category and add a little bit of content, now you have created a category. Now, you shouldn't do that unless you know a little bit about what you're doing, right? Like you have to learn a little bit about categories and how the category structure works, and whether it makes sense for you to put this thing in that category, right? So what I did is I went and looked for Loyalist ships and found that there was such a category. And I thought, okay, well, Martha belongs here, so I'll put it in. And then later I thought, well, this was a shipwreck. I mean, what other categories can I put this in? And I thought, well, it was a shipwreck. I wonder if there's a shipwrecks category. And there is. So I added the shipwrecks category. So I hope that answers a lot of your questions. Here's the category for mtDNA haplogroups that I was mentioning earlier. And so see, here's haplogroup C, and haplogroup C has one subcategory, C1C, and that's a category that I'm very interested in. I spent a lot of time working on haplogroup C1C, and I try to keep track of who's in here, because I am descended from a woman who carried haplogroup C1C. And so here's a lot of people, as you can see in this haplogroup. Now I'm going to go back even further, go back to my profile. And you can see there's only 2 categories on my profile. One is because I added a sticker for Slavic roots, and the other is Maloney 2332. So Maloney 2332, that's my ID, right? You can see it there. That's my ID. So why did I create a category with that same name? Well, that's my personal category. So if I go to that, you can see that it is in the category personal categories. So if you wanted to create your own category, you would go to your own profile, you'd add the category for your ID, and it would show up in red, and then you'd click on that, and you'd put it that it was a member of personal categories. See? Personal categories. Okay? So now I've created a category that's my own personal category, and I've put in some text here to say that here's a link to the history of per se, because it doesn't belong to my personal category. It's actually a public category, so I don't want to make it part of mine. But I've added a lot of pages. Well, I've created two subcategories, but on a lot of pages that I've worked on over the years, I wanted to be able to quickly be able to get to them. You know how sometimes you've created pages, and now where the heck is that page? I can't remember. What did I call it? And et cetera, et cetera. So here I've just gone to pages that I've written where I've written something. And so, for example, here's the Siege of Quebec, and it's in my personal category. It's also in the category Siege of Quebec. It's also in King William's War, and it's in Quebec, Canada, Nouvelle-France. Okay, because all of those things are pertinent. And this is about an event that happened in 1690. And if we go to the category for the Siege of Quebec, we will see that there's people who were involved in that siege. And some of these are, they're on both sides of the battle. So New England people and Quebec people. And they're categorized. So now I can see them together. So we see again here, we've got relatives: Charles Le Moyne, Jacques Le Moyne, and Paul Le Moyne. They're brothers, and they were all at this battle. And of course, yeah.
So if I could take a step back,
yep.
Would you be able to go back to your personal category really quick? Because I wanted to point out something that might be a nice little hint for when we want to link to categories. Because you said you had that one, the history of purse, right?
History per se.
Per se. Sorry about that. So if you go back to edit mode on this page really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody wants to make a link to a category and not actually categorize that page it's sitting on, you'll notice that Murray had put in a little colon in front of the word category to prevent that from categorizing. Instead, it creates a link to that category that you can click on once you've saved it. Does everybody see that?
Yep.
Where it's highlighted the little colon there in front of the name category, but after the double brackets? So that's how we would make a category link. And that's something that doesn't really come up that often, but I just wanted to point that out because you do have it on your personal category here. And so there's
right.
that. Go ahead.
So I'm going to click on this where it says link here, and it'll pick up the text just as you've described it. So I could paste it in like that. If I wanted to use it, then it's copied that, and so to use it, it would go there. And do you see it? Oh, let me put them beside each other. So if I wanted something to belong to the category, I don't put the colon there. If I want a link to the category, I put the colon there.
Yeah, so there's quick ways to create it, like for that link button, use button, if you're not doing it by hand. So that's good to point out too. And then, but really quick, just before, I just wanted to ask a question on that the shipwreck category. The boat. So would it be beneficial to separate the survivors of that shipwreck in their own category, or is that getting too nitty gritty with the category structure at that point? It looked like most people were shipwreck survivors.
Yeah. So yes, yes. If we had enough information to do that, then that would be a good idea. I have. Let me see if I can. No, I can't identify something real quick. Yeah, in some of the pages that I've created about stuff happening in let's see.
I know, like the ship, like the Titanic, has categories for both survivors and everyone who was on it. So like they break it down really well in the Titanic sub project.
Right.
But it was also a very notable shipwreck too. Who hasn't heard about the Titanic versus the one that you were researching, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that. I've done that in a few places where I've differentiated the people who were involved in the event, people who were killed, and people who were taken. That is, they were kidnapped. They were
Like
taken as
prisoners of
prisoners.
war.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is really weird in this kind of situation. So we're talking about early, like 1600s, 1700s, well, 1600s mostly, 1600s in New England and in New France, Nouvelle France. And so, you know, um, there is a war. There's a name of a war involved. The war was given a name, but it's not only soldiers who are involved, right? There's towns involved, and that where the French and Indian people from Quebec would come down into New England, or Americans with the Mohawks would come up into Quebec and attack a town. And you know, there are soldiers involved, but there's also civilians involved. They're protecting their town, and so the lines blur a little bit. Anyway.
Yeah, and I can see you broke up the King William's War into wounded, prisoners of war, killed in action. So you did subcategorize those even further.
Yes, killed. Yeah. There we go. Killed in action. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then if you do that, they're not going to show up in King William's War, the category. They're going to show up in one of the more specific categories, right?
Yeah. Well, yes.
Or do you want to display them both?
Yeah. There's also wounded in action, King William's War. There's only one person in that. Yeah. In some cases, I've put both. I put them in King William's War and put them in Killed in Action in King William's War.
Master list.
Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, there's really no right way to do it. I guess it depends on what the item is, on what the research is, and then who's doing that research. So yeah, there's going to be a multitude of ways that people categorize within smaller projects. But hopefully it's insightful to some people. I know there's some other questions from other hands were raised earlier.
Yeah. So I did raise my hand so that I could address some of the questions that were being asked.
Sorry, Denise.
So Anne was asking, Anne Forcier. Okay. So if I wanted to find Murray's new category and I was on my landing page, I could go to the advanced search choice, scroll down, then do what? Now, let me explain, because you can get to these categories once they've been established without going through the formal search process. If you're on a profile, so if you want to go back to one of your profiles, Murray, and you see his category box up top here, and he's done like me. He's put his category box up top so you can see it right off. But you see this pencil on the end? That's an edit button. So if you click on that edit button, you can edit the categories that are there, or you can then search for categories. But yours doesn't have the new stuff that I have. Mine, if I can pull up one of mine, I've got pluses and minuses on my category box.
Yes,
So,
yes, I haven't set that up.
okay.
Yeah, I've got that on my. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite useful.
It makes life so much easier.
My categories are on the bottom, so I'm the weirdo here.
Well, no, you can just you can set it how you prefer.
I do have the pluses and minuses on mine.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it just makes it easy, especially since I do a lot of profile improvements. So with each of these categories, I can either add it or subtract it. This isn't my profile, so I'm not going to do anything with it other than yeah, I'll go ahead and like this plus and minus. If I wanted to change house painters to something else, I could click on the plus and minus, and basically what WikiTree would do is replace the category house painters with whatever I changed that to.
Australia house painters, if there was another category.
or could, yeah. So I'm not going to change that because yeah, it's not one of my profiles, so I'm not going to change it. But that gives you an example of what that does. The plus bar, actually, and when it does that, it automatically populates. When you go to save, it will automatically populate the explanation field down at the bottom. Right before you save, you have to put in a change explanation. So when you change these up here, it automatically populates that field down there at the bottom before you save. And then the other is like clicking on the plus bar. I can add another one here. We can say Murray's shipwrecks. Yeah. If I spell it right.
It also gives you options for what is out there.
It does.
There's similar titled categories. Like you can see, there's lots of different things about shipwrecks hiding.
Yeah. So you can pick and choose which one. And of course, it's text sensitive. So see, if I'd said shipwrecked, then just that one would come up. So it is text sensitive.
That might be a show. I have to look into it, but I think that actually is a program.
It is. I use it all the time. So you can select that and you can add that to the profile. And then when you do that, like I said, when you go down to save it, when you jump to the bottom to save, jump. Where's my save? This isn't my profile, so I can't do it.
It is legit. It actually is a category for individuals who are associated with being shipwrecked.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, I for a second thought like maybe there was a show, like a television show or something titled that. But if that was the case, someone would then have to differentiate it with like some parentheses indicating this is something else. So don't get confused.
That's actually it. That's it.
So this is a category that I can attach to those people who were shipwrecked, who were associated with that ship.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, it's a master list. It doesn't care which ships.
It's a valid list. Yeah. Now, the other option is, I think I'm just going to go to one of mine so that I don't mess up anything Amanda has done.
That could be a really big category. I mean, I can imagine a lot of people in this category now.
Oh, certainly it could. Like in this case, up at the top, I can click on categories. This is on my profile. Let's see what categories I have on my profile. Okay. Yeah. WikiTree Day attendee, all that fun stuff. So, and of course I've got where I was born. If I wanted to add some other profile, some other category, you could do that here. Another option is if you're in edit mode and you have WikiTree browser and WikiTree B, just above the text box, you have these options. Now you've got your, I think I hear Ann saying, yes, yes. You've got this one that looks like an organizational chart to me because I'm from the corporate world, but this is actually a category box. So you can click on that. And again, this is text sensitive. So you can type in part or all of what it is you're looking for. We're going to go with shipwrecked again, just so you'll see. And it pulls up shipwrecked. Now, within 30 minutes to an hour, any brand new categories that have been created will appear in this list. I've tested it. It happens like within an hour for sure.
Mm-hmm. Recycle.
Yeah.
So it's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's pretty quick, especially with all the advancements Alesh has made to WikiTree now. You don't have to wait a day or a week for things to be updated in WikiTree. So now we've got that category shipwrecked. I'm not shipwrecked, so I'm going to be moving this in a little bit. But that
Well,
at
you don't want
least
to tell us
shows
about
you
your stay on the desert island?
that at least shows you, how quickly you can create that category. And then the other option is where you've got these boxes here. And I believe one comes with the B and the other comes with the WikiTree browser extension. And I've had these for so long, I can't remember which comes with which. This one I saw on Murray's page. So this one probably comes with the browser extension.
That's right.
Okay. And so again, you can click on categories, and guess what? This is the cool part. This is the part I really love, especially now when I'm doing profile improvements. You can add any category, and again, this one it's textual. You just type whatever comes to mind. You just type it. Look, all these different kind of ships. Just typing in the word ship, and I get all these different names for ships, categories of ships. Then you've got, I can add a location. So if there is a specific location that I couldn't find a category for, I could just type it in.
Hey, that's my name.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a very common name and place names. So you're going to pull everything,
Yeah.
and you'll have to be more specific, obviously.
Yeah.
But your personal category won't be in this list.
No, because I'm not a location.
That's right.
I'm a thing.
Same thing with cemetery categories.
Oh God, you're going to get so many.
Okay, but it breaks it down. It breaks that list down for you, and you can get specific. If I say Louisiana, it'll break down the ones that are in Louisiana for me. So
or
it's
the
just
ones that are
reading
in
the text.
Greenwood, Louisiana.
That's right. That's right. Which is where my family is, Steve.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So
I should clarify though, my last name is actually not that genetic to me. Like I can go back 4 generations on mine, and then the adoption messes everything up. So
okay,
as much as people want to like attach, Greenwoods to me, I really don't have much of a connection for it.
Well, same thing with one name studies. If you want to see if there's a category for the name that you're dealing with, let's see. I haven't checked this, but I'm gonna do it now.
Pardon?
No, yeah, that's my maiden name. No name studies on that one.
Yeah, it'd probably be a different. It might be there might be one under a different spelling.
Harding, yeah, it could be
Harding, rather than Harding.
Right, you put in like hard, and it'll give you multiple options after that. It's actually taking the place name within the name study of a different name.
Yeah. So, but that's for the name studies again to make life easier. And just play around with it. And the one I love the most when I'm doing profile improvements is auto category, because basically AI is reading everything that's in your text box and it's looking for categories that may exist for that particular location, cemetery, name study, for any of those, and it will add it to the list. notepad. It's not doing it on this one because I got them all there. But go ahead, Mary.
Excuse me for correcting you, Denise, but just to be clear, it's not AI.
Oh,
So it's a very specific algorithm that written by Ian Bacall that performs that task. But
okay.
it's not AI.
It's an IB instead of an AI.
It's
Yeah.
searching for the text that's on the profile only.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, IB for Ian Bacall.
And then matching up what categories match the text that it finds.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm curious to see what populates, though. You say you've categorized everything, but what would actually happen if you clicked on it?
I just did. You'd see the shaking tree, but nothing got added because
Nothing
there's
got
nothing
added.
to add. Yeah. So you
We
get
did
the
our job
shaking
really well.
tree. That
Okay.
means it's reading it, it's working, but there was nothing else to add, so it didn't add anything.
If
All
you've
right.
already created a category, like I've got a personal category with a lot of orphaned profiles in it, but it's not under personal categories. Can you move it?
What do you mean by that? Can you move it, Hillary?
Well, it's my I've got a category with my ID on it, which is Buckle 52. And it's got its actual category is Buckle 52 Orphan To-Do List. So it's one of my to-do lists, and I've put all these profiles in there. But really, looking at what you've said before, this ought to be under personal categories, but it's, as far as I know, it's not.
Well, it should be under Buckle 52.
Yeah.
So
it probably will be under that. Yeah.
So what you do is you create your personal category with your ID, and then you can create subordinate categories that go under your personal category.
Is that the right word? Are they subordinating? Are they in trouble? I didn't know that was the right terminology.
Yeah.
I think I've only got the one personal category, and that is the things that I orphaned that I wanted to go back and work on, that I could orphan because they were old enough to, they were ones that I could have as open profiles. So
but you must have made it a member of some other category. Otherwise it would be red.
Oh, look, there's the Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's obviously somewhere, but I set it up so long ago now I wouldn't know what it's under.
Okay.
Yeah. It's probably under Buckle 52, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, if you created some subcategories. Yeah. So these are subcategories under my personal category.
Yeah.
So it's in the note up top. This is a personal category managed by me.
Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. It's under the category Buckle 52, and then their subcategory is the Orphan To-Do List. It's the only subcategory I've got under there. So
right. And Denise, your category, Greenwood, Louisiana?
This category, yes, because that is a family church down in Louisiana.
No, but you've also got one that it doesn't have the Hardin 1880 in front of it.
That's correct, because it's got a free space page as well. So this one, I was keeping track of my personal family members, and really I could probably eliminate this category now.
Yeah, but that's not the one I was referring to. If you go back.
And there's ways to delete categories too. That's a whole another conversation.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I see what's happening. Okay. My mistake.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I've got a duplicate here needs church category created, and then I've got create church category. I was getting excited. And here's one needs church. So
there's three of them.
Well, these two need the categories created for the churches. This one, I just need to identify the church for the profile that I created.
So that's the distinction. Okay.
Yeah, there is a distinction. It's in my head, but yeah, that's that's what the
Yeah.
distinction is.
Yeah.
But yeah, military stickers. I've got all kinds of things. It's like a to-do list for me, things that I still need to do.
And Forty asked a really good question. What are the numbers after the words in the category line?
So the 0 represents I forget what.
The number
But like
Must be a
subcategory?
subcategory. Is it?
Mhm.
Is it
That
number of
could be.
subcategories?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
subcategories, and then it's profiles, and then it's pages.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
like, see, that one's got the 41 profiles, where I still need to create the church categories. The others that have any, like they said, pages,
Like
like
needs
this one.
research has a space page on it.
Yeah.
There's a 1. So there it is.
So again, there's my church. So that's the space page for the Greenwood #1 Baptist Church. Yep.
Yeah, no,
Cool
this is a
beans.
good question. No, it really is.
Yeah.
Rick asked how you get the category list to the top of the page, and that's part of the WikiTree browser extension. You have the option to have your category list either appear where it normally appears without the browser extension is at the bottom of the page. But you can also have it be up at the top of the page, as you've seen, and you can also have it appear at the top of the column on the right, so that it's pushed over to the side there, if you want.
So if I go to my
Yeah.
options for my WikiTree browser extension, I've gone to the options of my WikiTree browser extension, and you've got here global, profile, editing, navigation, community, and other. And I go through. I can't tell you. Murray can probably tell you exactly where it is, but
just go to search and you find it.
If you go into the search box and type in the word category, it'll show you all of the ones that have something to do with categories.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. Learn something new.
Okay, and again, I'm just responding to Anne's question again. I'm just saying that subcategories is first, then profiles is second, and then pages would be third in that order. So typing that out here.
Yeah. So under editing, I did the search on category. Here's your category management. I turn that on and to show the options. We've got all of these different options, and one is to display it at the top somewhere in here. These are the only two I don't do. Add link to request deletion, add link to ask new name. So it just gives me the box. I don't get a link asking me what the new name is if I'm renaming it. Like when I click on that plus minus.
Yeah. It's there's so many options in there though.
Exactly.
And everybody wants something different. It's really difficult to say. You really need to try it and try it, turn it on, turn it off, and see what you like. Really.
Exactly. That's what you got to do. Just play around with it. Same thing with the colors. Murray's got totally different colors from what I have, because I just went with the standards. I'm okay the way it is. But you can play around with your colors. You can do all that good stuff. Yeah. Enhanced editor. I don't do anything with the enhanced editor either. Some people like, the ones that are writers and things like that. They like the enhanced editing functions. I'm not there.
Yeah. I haven't got the standard ones on mine. I've got different colors and things. So yeah.
And Fortalisi, you have a question.
Yeah. I think the other Anne wants to know about your colors, and you have a special page that shows all the different colors in your profile. The one,
color scheme page. Yeah.
The typography page. So there's a link to a page that I wrote called Impact of Topography on Reading and Cognition. I showed this off the last time. I won't go through it today, but you can go take a look at that, and it'll tell you about how to use the WikiTree browser extension's features to arrange things on your page, so that you can change the background colors, you can change the font, you can have things disappear that you never look at, things that are just get in your way. On the profiles, I simplified my profiles a lot anyway. So take a look at that and play around and use it as you will. And good luck.
Yeah. And Sue Carter has a question, Sue.
Okay, I think what she was asking about the colored dots, not the privacy, but when Murray was way down in his free space page or something, and it got down to showing which profiles were on there. There was green or red, white, and blue dots by different profiles.
Yeah, those dots, I don't know about the blue, but those dots are the status of the profile, the privacy status of the profile.
No.
So remember, red is private, white is open, and then green is public. So you've got a lot of different colors, and it's based on the profile.
There.
Yeah, same thing. Private, red is private, and you can click on the dot to see the privacy level. Yeah.
Okay, I thought that black was a blue. That's why I thought it was something different. Okay. Thank you.
No, Murray kept his biography private for reasons. So
yeah.
Well, this is a page that when I'm gone, I want somebody to copy the content of this page into my biography. I currently my personal page has a lot of information about who I am, what I've done in my life, and my DNA connections. But I've actually written a biography that says this is where I was born and this is where I lived and worked, and here are some of the things I've done in my life. I don't want to put that on my page currently, but when I'm gone, I hope that the person who takes over my profile will take this biography that I've written and put that in there, so that it'll save them from having to do the research and yeah.
Awesome. Good idea, Murray.
Well, that's very smart, because now all the personally identifiable information that you don't want out there right now needs to be hidden until you're deceased. And yes, it'll be sad to see you go, but it'll be amazing to have a very detailed profile for you that you've contributed to yourself. So I hope that WikiTree team is paying attention.
Yeah. So that's
And you can see there is my page, the impact of topography on reading and cognition. That's part of my personal category. And yeah. So I had a hard time keeping track of all of the stuff in New England and New France related to native and settler interactions, where as I observed elsewhere, I found that my family was involved on both sides of the conflict. So there are battles where I have cousins who are fighting against cousins, and they might be French cousins, they might be native cousins, they might be English cousins or Scottish cousins in New England, and yeah. Wow. So, Sue, now, Sue, did you have another question?
No.
Okay.
That was just it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. Amanda made a good point. She said, I love that idea, Murray, but you can have that on your profile and hide it with the
black.
Well, no, it's the symbols that she's got there. The greater than, and then dash,
the comment.
space, dash.
Yeah, it's a hidden text HTML. So it's, at least it works within the wiki code. And I utilize a little bit myself for certain things. But if you really don't want anybody to see the edit history that's associated with your changes on the said page, say you have somebody else who also is a trusted list member and you don't want them to see that information either, then you probably would want to create a separate page that's unlisted, that just
So
but
both
yeah,
ideas work. Yeah.
right. You could use a combination of the both.
Yep.
Just a quick happy holidays to everybody in the U.S. and be sure that tomorrow is Tech Talk. And that is at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to go. And it is on Zoom. Yes, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Thanks, Ann.
Yes, it's a Zoom
And
call.
always so helpful.
She's our schedule reminder, keeping us on schedule.
Yeah, you won't find me there. It's too late. Far too late.
Look, listen.
I usually catch up with it afterwards.
Yeah.
We've had a good talk. Yeah.
All right.